Welcome to my sex room. Welcome to my sex room.
The game opens up with you, or well, temporarily you, having woken up in a cell. Cut to a year later and the perspective changes to the main character, who it's revealed is the husband of the previous character and that they've been kidnapped. Now it's up to you to infiltrate a sex cult and try and rescue her from the depths of hell. Lusst'ghaa Darkness is an enjoyable, if disappointing, first-person sexy horror game from the new, or at least I think new, I couldn't really find any of the games they made, game studio Movie Games Lunarium. It takes inspiration from such titles as Amnesia, Eyes Wide Shut, and the art of H.R. Geiger, while still managing to entertain its own personality. Some of that is good, some of that is bad. The core of the game is mainly just you wandering around and looking at all kinds of things in the world. The world is actually surprisingly interactive, with you being able to open basically every cabinet and door and look at most objects. Unfortunately, none of it's actually worth looking at besides an occasional item or note that adds to the story. The story itself is admittedly thin, mainly due to it being regulated to a handful of brief conversations. You could very easily cover everything that happens in the game in less than a minute. That's not to say it's bad. It goes in some interesting directions, especially once the game gets to the demon world. It's similarly thin, but interesting nonetheless. There is two other more traditional gameplay aspects: puzzles and stealth/chases. Puzzles are largely serviceable but fairly unimaginative. The bulk are the typical spin some stuff around to make the thing look like the other thing. The only one that was difficult or really interesting at all was one that revolved around a set of looping stairs with 3 sets of changeable images with dash marks on top. I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, but I wasn't able to figure it out. I kinda just got lucky and got on my 3rd random attempt. Chases and stealth suck. They're not fun, they're really poorly designed, and they're really inconsistent. For example, the first one you encounter revolves around guards patrolling the outside of a mansion where the game takes place. You have to sneak by in a very typical fashion. Now, that seems all fine and dandy at first, but it's deceptively bad. First off, if you get caught, it's an instant fail. And by caught, I mean just seen, not like they catch up to you or anything. Second, crouching is worthless. You move incredibly slow and their sight cones is incredibly limited. Third, there doesn't seem to be any form of sound detection, so instead of sneaking by, you should really just sprint when enemies turn their back. I didn't get caught by doing this at any point, so kinda makes the stealth not actually be stealth. Now, going back to what I said about the whole inconsistent part, that's just this one segment. There's others that operate completely differently, like the ones in Demon's Sex World, where instead it operates more like Amnesia. There's just a single monster that chases you. Thing is, you don't have places to hide, so it's basically just running away until it loses track of you, and just running past it. This is literally your only choice at one point, where you open a door and there's literally just a monster on the other side, which will probably kill you since you weren't expecting it. Thankfully, checkpoints are good, but still, these aren't good or fun or enjoyable in any way. They're not even really scary. That's the worst part about it. But let's be honest with each other. Who cares about all that bullshit? What you want to know: how is the sex?
Oh my God.
Well, let me tell you, this game has got you covered. This ain't some 50 Shades of Weak shit. This is that spooky sex. Regular old on-screen penetration just a little too vanilla? Threesomes not enough sums? Here, have an orgy. Want some of that demon flavor? Well, here's a statue of a demon lady with titties from tip to toe. Multiple breasts? What is this, Total Recall? Alright, let's take a look at the other side. See that? That's 8 butt cheeks. On the legs. Is that still a little too human for you? Well, here's a statue of a demon guy banging a goat. And let me tell you, he is loving it. Goes even further with dick impalement and the like. But if you want to check out this game on your own time, I'll leave it as a little surprise for you. So that's Lusst'ghaa Darkness. Is it a good game? Not really. But you know what? I enjoyed my experience with it. The game uses sex effectively, and there's a lot of neat designs and concepts. A lot of it's heavily influenced by Lovecraft and Geiger, but like I said, it has its own personality. At the current discounted price, I'd say If you're really into the weird sex stuff and cool designs, you can maybe justify your purchase. You may want to wait for a discount though. If you're looking for just a good horror game, I give it a pass. This game isn't even really scary at all. At most, it just kind of has a sort of creepy atmosphere. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.
Feeling high, but I'm real low, looking sorta like a tripod. So power down your cell phone and power up your iPod.